Hi guys, today we're going to learn some new notation for inequalities that you've probably not used before. This is how your note sheet looks for today. And that was going a little crazy for a minute. But these are the things that you should already know. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, infinity, and negative infinity. Those symbols are always the same. Make sure that you know, we're not in elementary school anymore, so make sure that you know which one is less than, which one is greater than, without trying to do the little alligator thing. That was fun in elementary school, but now you need to remember them. One way that you can remember these is if you look at less than, it is, if you think about an L, if you had an L and you made it kind of messy, it would be a less than symbol. So that's one way to kind of remember it a little better than the alligator thing. So we're going to start here. This is set builder, the old way that you've done it in the past. Set builder is x such that x is greater than a. And you may have in the past only had this part of it and not had all of it, but you'll see this often in your textbook and in higher textbooks. This just means x such that, and then whatever x is. The difference between these two is the open circle and the closed circle. If you have open circle, does not have the equal to part to it. If it is a closed circle, then it is equal to. The interval, the new way that we're going to do these with intervals is it kind of looks like a point almost, but it's just not. And I don't know. You all have to bear with me while I'm learning how to do this. I don't know why it goes crazy sometimes. But this means, both of these means that we're greater than A. The only difference here is here we're including A, here we're not including A. I mean, backwards. Here we're including A, here we are not including A. So when we're not including A, we do not have a line under it. If we are including A, we do have a line under it. And this is going from A all the way to the right, and it's going, we call this going to infinity. So the way that we're going to write the interval is we are going to say that we are going from A to infinity. But then we put brackets or parentheses around these. And the way that we do this is that infinity symbol always gets a parentheses, whether it is positive infinity or negative infinity, either one is always going to get a parentheses. Okay, so if you want to make yourself a note somewhere on here, and the good way to do these notes is as we're going along, if you need to pause and add some notes to your notes, that's the good way to take notes, is to add in things other than just what your teacher says. And then for A, we are not including A, so it just gets a parentheses. So A to infinity. The next one is still going to infinity, but this time we are including the A, so its symbol is going to be a bracket. Okay, its symbol is going to be a bracket. So it's a bracket, and we're going A to infinity. Infinity always gets a parentheses. Okay, so the next one set here is similar, but this time if we're going to the left, this one x is less than A. So if we're going to the left, and that's another cool thing, is that left is less. And this one then is going to negative infinity. But we always write, when we're coming over here and we're going to write it as an interval, we always write from left to right. So we are going to put negative infinity first and then A. So we're going from negative infinity to A, negative infinity we'll get the parentheses. It's always going to get a parentheses. And here, since we have an open circle, that A is going to get a parentheses. On the next one, similarly, we're going from negative infinity to A. So this is going to be negative infinity first, because that's the one that we come to first on our number line. And then we're going out to A. So we're going to go negative infinity to A, and it gets a bracket because we're including it. Okay, and the next one, the way you've always seen it before, is this: X is less than A, or X is greater than B. And the or one, I always say the or looks like two oars of a boat. You've got both of those on there together. You could have either this one or this one. It's going to have, it can have the bars underneath it. I just didn't do every single one, but you could have bars underneath here, and that would mean that these would be circled in. But the way that we do these now as an interval, we have two little pieces here. So we're going to put both of these pieces, and remember from our intersections and unions, if you're putting two pieces together, that's a union. So we're going to have two things here with a union between them. So this first one is going from negative infinity to A, and the second one is going from B to infinity, and we're putting them together. So we're going to have parentheses, negative infinity to A, and it gets a parentheses because it's not closed in, and we're going to union that with B to positive infinity. Okay, and again, if these were colored in and these were the equal to's here, these would be brackets. Okay, the next one is going from A to B. It's just this little piece. It ends on each end. It's not going to infinity. We're just going from A to B. And so from A to B, we would have a parentheses at A. And let's change this. And I may change it before I make your copies, so yours may be this way. Let's make this one colored in. So that would be here, just so we can see the difference. So now we would have from A to B. We're not including A, but we are including B. So A gets a parentheses and B gets a bracket. Okay? And this one is written as just one long thing when it's like that. Now, we have some examples here that we're going to do. So a good thing for you to do at this point in your video would be to maybe pause your video, do a couple of them, and then come back and check them and see, make sure that you're doing them the right way. Okay, so that would be some good practice if you want to pause here and then come back. Okay, so here I'm going to write in all of the notation for this one. So if I was writing set builder notation, this would be X such that this is going from 1 to infinity. So this is everything greater than 1. So X is greater than 1, and we're not including that 1 in there, so it just gets greater than, no line underneath it. So this is going then from 1 to infinity if we're writing it in interval notation. Okay, next we are going here X such that this time X is greater than negative 2. We're going from negative 2 to infinity. So X is greater than negative 2. So this is going then from negative 2 up to infinity. And you should always use a pencil because sometimes we have to erase. And this will be a bracket instead of parentheses. Okay, then on the next one we are going from 3 to negative infinity. So now we're going from here is negative infinity, and then we go to the 3. So when we're doing interval notation, the negative infinity is going to be first, and then the 3. And this one gets a parentheses because it's an open circle. So in the set builder, the old way that you're used to doing this is that it's less than 3. So if we're doing correct set builder notation, it's x such that x is less than 3. Okay. And then the next one is also a less than. It's going to negative infinity. So this is x such that x is less than or equal to 5. So in set builder notation, on the left we have negative infinity, and then on the right we're going up to 5, and it gets a bracket because it's colored in. Okay. So now for the next one, this one is the 2 oars of the boat. It's going to be an or one. So when we write it in set builder, we just use the word or in there. We do x such that here x is less than 3. X is less than 1, or x is greater than 3. Okay, so that's our set builder notation. And again, you probably have only seen this part of it most of the time. We tend to get lazy and not write it mathematically exact, but that's what it means. And then remember this one, we have the 2 pieces, so we have to union this piece and this piece together. So the left piece is going from negative infinity to 1, negative infinity here, out to 1, and it's getting an open circle. And then this one is an open circle at 3, out to infinity, and infinities and negative infinities always get a parentheses, and this is union together. The infinity and negative infinity always gets the parentheses because there is no end to that. So we can't say, well, we're including infinity because it just keeps on going and going. This last one, from 1 to 3, it's just this little piece. So x is between 1 and 3. So x such that 1 is less than x is less than 3. And these have closed-in circles, so these are less than or equal to. And then the set builder notation, we've got from 1 to 3, and we're including 1 and 3 in both of these, so these get brackets. Okay, and that is how we do interval notation. I put a number line on here just to remind you that we go from negative infinity on the left all the way to infinity on the right. You have done number lines forever. We just now have, we're putting symbols in here saying that they go on and on forever. So I just added that in there just for you to have it for a reference. So now what you want to do is you want to fold this, and then you want to take your notebook, fold this, take your notebook. We want to turn in your notebook to page 92. Okay, turn to page 92. And this one you want to glue in whichever way you like, doesn't matter. As you can tell, it won't fit this way. But you want to glue it in to where it opens up, whichever way you like to read it better. I think I would put it this way, but it's your notebook. You can do whichever way you want to. This is section 1.7 if you like to label your notebook. This is starting section 1.7, so you could put that in there, and then don't forget to go to the front of your notebook in your table of contents and add this in. Hope you have a good day, and I hope that this works out for us well. I like that you can pause and go back and review, and hopefully this will help us out a little bit. So see you next time.